Racing. This is the 2020 FAB-Racing Minibike British Championships. Round 3, Clay Pigeon Raceway.
Now on track we have got the LC40 Elite class. Now this is a liquid-cooled 40cc engine, and we've got the likes of Ryan Hitchcock, who he's the lap record holder on the GP50s and GP70s around this circuit. So he's now moved back onto the mini bikes, and we'll see if he can go for a clean sweep and try and take that one.
Yeah, he's a name we've seen in these classes before. He's moving up into British Talent Cup as well this year, so he's a star returning to the class, and we saw that he was absolutely class act last time out at Lid, picking up a couple of wins there, starting from the back of the grid on the Friday, picking up some second places and then some wins on the Sunday for round 2. So expect to see him fast and up the front. But Charlie Huntingford also there. He's in second place in the championship. Expect to see him trying to climb up through the field. Samuel Munson as well, the number 72, just in shot. And Josh Bannister will all be looking to try and catch Ryan Hitchcock at the front. But all of these guys have explained to us how much this track invites close racing and really bunches up the pack around here. So we could very well see a good battle for the win between all these riders.
Yep, and it was a very, very strong qualifying for a number of these riders, and it's going to be an incredibly tight field throughout this season, and you can't really see anyone stretching a gap out. So expect to see it all in this one, the LC40 Elites, as we've got the number 76 there on screen, and that is Charlie Huntingford in the multicoloured bike and the red and white and black lid there. And it is Ryan Hitchcock on the pole with Samuel Munson in second, Charlie Huntingford in third, Josh Bannister fourth as they look to lights, and out they go. It's a good start there from Ryan Hitchcock and Samuel Munson in first and second position. And behind you can see Charlie Huntingford just swept around the inside and loses the lead, and up into the lead of the race goes Ryan Hitchcock.
Yeah, Ryan Hitchcock did really well to read that move from Charlie Huntingford. Charlie Huntingford went up the inside, ran it slightly wide, and Hitchcock would manage to turn it back on him and get back underneath him. He's now stretching out a little bit of a lead already at the front of this race. Samuel Munson was then looking really menacing behind Charlie Huntingford as well. As you just see further back there, the number 3 of Archie Gibbs. He's actually running in this category on an air-cooled 40cc bike, so a bit down on power is Archie Gibbs. But back to the front then, Ryan Hitchcock absolutely flying at the front of this race, 43.5 off of the line, and a 0.7, almost 0.8 second of a lead over the line for Ryan Hitchcock. So it's all about what can Charlie Huntingford and Samuel Munson do to catch down Ryan Hitchcock. The number 2 of Josh Bannister in fourth place, also looking really menacing on the back wheel of Samuel Munson, so perhaps a battle for second also hotting up there, as you can just see the number 76 of Charlie Huntingford holding on to second position at the moment, ahead of the number 72 of Samuel Munson and the number 2 of Josh Bannister. Yeah,
Ryan Hitchcock started to check out at the front. That's a 1.1 second lead. He's just built himself after the second lap. Charlie Huntingford in second, Samuel Munson in third, Josh Bannister in fourth, Joshua Williams in fifth, Archie O'Brien in sixth, Thorley Trevorrow in seventh, Marco Holt in eighth, Archie Gibbs in ninth, and Casey Sperry in 10th position. Luke Fitchett in 11th, and Warwick Brady in 12th place. But it is Ryan Hitchcock, really dominant start to this one. You can see fastest laps already. We're starting to break away. 1.1 second gap already over Charlie Huntingford, who's going to have to start to fight off Samuel Munson and Josh Bannister. So that's going to really help out Ryan with the battle between Charlie and Sam and Josh starting to heat up.
Yeah, Josh Bannister now looking really on the charge and looking to find a way past Samuel Munson. He tried it at the S's last time around, but Munson was able to read it and get back ahead of him. So Josh Bannister now looking really keen to try and get through on the number 72, Samuel Munson, as Charlie Huntingford now is stretching out a bit of a lead over Samuel Munson and Josh Bannister. So it'll be interesting to see if they can claw that back down. A lonely second place at the moment for Huntingford, but Bannister looking like he thinks he's got the pace to go and catch him, and wanting to get through the number 72 of Samuel Munson. Joshua Williams doing a brilliant job in 5th spot on the number 78. He's just on the back of the shot and just trying to cling on to these guys. A rider who we saw earlier on in the AC40 Pros, front runner in that class, and just learning his way on the with more power in the LC40 Elites.
Yeah, but it's Ryan Hitchcock leading this one. He picked up 2 wins at round 2, the number 43, and he picked up his 2 and only wins of the season in the wet, in the more difficult conditions, you'd think, in round 2, compared to Charlie, Sam and Josh in 2nd, 3rd and 4th, who all picked up a victory on the Saturday in the dry. So Ryan is adept at clearly doing it in both. He can do it in dry conditions, as we're seeing right now, and very strong in the wet, from what we saw in Lid a few weeks ago. And he's leading now by 2.1 seconds. Charlie Huntingford starting to break away from Samuel Munson, who's got Josh Bannister all over the rear end of him. Just 0.3 of a second splits the number 72 and the number 2 of Samuel Munson and Josh Bannister.
Yeah, you can just see Ryan Hitchcock looking over his shoulder as he was going through the far end of this circuit, just trying to see where Charlie Huntingford and Samuel Munson are. Well, they're 2 seconds further back, so you can take a bit of a breather at the moment, Ryan, with 3 laps to go of this race as he comes through the first section. Ryan Hitchcock doing such a good job at the front to just control the pace. He got down into the 41s, a 41.8 for Ryan Hitchcock, which is really close to the lap record of a 41.7. So absolutely flying at the front, as it just looks like that's Archie Gibbs at the side of the circuit there. Looks like he's gone down and slightly disappointed and perhaps a little bit winded from that crash, as Ryan Hitchcock comes back into your shot there. The number 43 coming to cross the line to start the penultimate lap of this race. 2 laps to go for Ryan Hitchcock, with Charlie Huntingford a distant second, and looking to come under a little bit of pressure now from Samuel Munson, who's not too far behind now. Yeah.
Samuel Munson looking very strong in the late stages of this one, really closing in on Charlie Huntingford, and the pair of them wanting to swap positions, because they're very, very close in the championship. The championship was, the top 3 of Ryan Hitchcock, Charlie Huntingford and Samuel Munson was split by 2 points, with Ryan Hitchcock on 90, Charlie on 90 and Samuel Munson on 88. So that's how close it is, and the 3 of them are all in the top 3 in this one. So that shows how strong they are going to be over this one, as Ryan Hitchcock crosses the line to start his final lap here for race 1 of the weekend from Clay Pigeon. And he's done it in sensational style, leading at the front. He's got a 4-second gap now over Charlie Huntingford, who is doing his best to hold off Samuel Munson. The gap now half a second between Charlie and Sam for 2nd and 3rd. So Sam, he's got to get a move on if he's to close in, but it's going to be Ryan Hitchcock if all goes to plan as he comes up to the final corner of this one. Ryan Hitchcock has led from the front and absolutely controlled this one. And what a win he's going to take to open his account here at Clay Pigeon. Comes across the line, takes the victory, arm up in the air, delighted with his weekend so far. And Ryan Hitchcock takes it. Samuel Munson does get Charlie Huntingford on the line by 1/10 of a second. It was a drag to the line, and Samuel Munson steals it from Charlie and takes it away. So it's going to be Ryan Hitchcock with Samuel Munson in 2nd, Charlie Huntingford just beaten to 2nd place, finishes in 3rd, Josh Bannister in 4th, and Joshua Williams back in 5th.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Samuel Munson right at the end. You can see how happy he is there, just celebrating with Ryan Hitchcock. Brilliant to take 2nd away from Charlie Huntingford right at the end. Charlie Huntingford should be happy with 3rd place, though. His 4th podium of the year for the number 76. So brilliant stuff from all of these guys. There it is then. Ryan Hitchcock took the win with a 3.9 second lead over Samuel Munson ahead of Charlie Huntingford, Josh Bannister in 4th, and Joshua Williams in 5th place. Archie O'Brien it was who took 6th ahead of Thorley Trevorrow, Marco Holt, Luke Fitchett, and Archie Gibbs, who unfortunately didn't finish the race.
It's going to be, as they go to the formation lap, it is going to be Ryan Hitchcock on the pole for this one. Sammy Munson in 2nd place, whilst Charlie Huntingford in 3rd, Josh Bannister in 4th, Joshua Williams in 5th place, with Archie Gibbs in 6th, Archie O'Brien in 7th, with Thorley Trevorrow in 8th, Warwick Brady back in 9th place, with Luke Fitchett in 10th, Marco Holt in 11th, and Casey Sperry in 12th. And I believe that is the 12 that we have. And in fact, the top 5 all finished in qualifying order yesterday. So it was Ryan Hitchcock from Samuel Munson and Charlie Huntingford. Samuel Munson stealing on the line ahead of Charlie Huntingford in a brilliant end to the first race of the weekend for the LC40 Elite.
Yeah, it was a brilliant battle between those two. Ryan Hitchcock, your pole man, absolutely cleared off at the front and controlled the pace at the front beautifully. So your likes of Samuel Munson, Charlie Huntingford and Josh Bannister are all going to be looking to see if they can stop Ryan Hitchcock from running away at the front in this one. Ryan Hitchcock, you can see there on pole position, the number 43 with the red leathers, just ahead of Samuel Munson there with a British flag on the knee sliders. What can Samuel Munson do about the charging 43 of Ryan Hitchcock? Ryan considerably quicker in qualifying as well, so got some really good pace around this circuit. Also has a couple of lap records around here in the Mini GP 50s and 70s as they look round to make sure everyone's forming up on this grid. They're eager to get this race started. They're looking to the lights now, and it's a brilliant start there from Samuel Munson, just getting up underneath, but it's Charlie Huntingford with an amazing start there from 3rd place on the grid up into 1st and edging out a slight gap as they go through turn 2, but Ryan Hitchcock now right on the back wheel of Charlie Huntingford. So a brilliant start there for the number 76 on the blue bike there. Josh Williams, you can see there, and Archie Gibbs a bit further back. The helmet we like so much of Marco Holt a bit further back in that grid as well, but it's Charlie Huntingford who got a brilliant start there and just holding on ahead of Ryan Hitchcock now.
What a rocket of a start there for Charlie Huntingford, off the line, soaring down into turn 1, and he's going to come across the line leading the first lap, moving up from 3rd on the grid. Ryan Hitchcock in 2nd, and Sammy Munson in 3rd, Joshua Williams in 4th, and Josh Bannister in 5th. But yeah, as Charlie loses the lead there, great move into the second corner there for Ryan Hitchcock, and that's a move I don't think we've seen so far this weekend.
No, that's absolutely brilliant move from Ryan Hitchcock. He set it up really well, got a good drive out of turn 2 and just managed to steal the line away from Charlie Huntingford. Huntingford had a little bit of bobble there through the horseshoe, would have lost him a little bit of time, and not something he can afford to do with the pace that Ryan Hitchcock has been showing this weekend. So Charlie's going to need to do everything he can to stay on the back of Ryan Hitchcock and perhaps trying to disturb his rhythm a little bit, because we know once Ryan starts setting that pace, there is no stopping him. And there he is, he takes the fastest lap, and a big bobble there for Samuel Munson. Big front end chatter as he goes into the S's and just about manages to save it. So brilliant stuff from him to be able to save that. Almost a crash there, but absolutely brilliant from Samuel Munson. Unfortunately, it's dropping down the order now and went off onto the grass. Looking further back now, Archie Gibbs there threatening Josh Bannister for 5th place, and Archie Gibbs, Gareth, on an air-cooled bike in this race. So we're down on power in this way. You can just see how they pull away from him as they go down the straight. So to have such pace on that air-cooled bike against the liquid-cooled is really impressive from Archie Gibbs. But Josh Williams now defending 4th place from Josh Bannister, and Archie Gibbs getting right onto the back of these guys as they go through the S's. Brilliant stuff then from Archie Gibbs, and Josh Williams just trying to defend from from Josh Bannister, the number 2. A few battles further back as well. You can see Marco Holtz in that one, Casey Sperry and Thorley Trevorrow all battling it out there. Luke Fitchett also on the back of that one. So a brilliant battle going on there for 7th place.
Yeah, really good fight there. Just how did Samuel Munson stay on that bike? The balance from the young man was brilliant. Unfortunately for him, he's dropped down, but to stay on was very impressive indeed. But you can see this fight here is going right down, and you've got 4 riders within a couple of tenths of a second across the line, and that is Thorley Trevorrow, Casey Sperry, Marco Holt and Luke Fitchett, all close up to each other. Behind, up ahead, you've still got the battle going on between Josh Bannister, Joshua Williams and Archie Gibbs, as you say, on that slightly underpowered bike. And we've already seen this weekend that Archie Gibbs is really, really enjoying this Clay Pigeon circuit. And clearly, that lack of power is not harming him at all.
Yeah, absolutely. The good thing about this circuit for Archie Gibbs is it's pretty much corner to corner to corner. Not a lot of straights here, so the straight line speed won't be harming him as much as it would be at other circuits, but definitely still a hindrance for Archie Gibbs, and it'll make it difficult for him to make a move on the likes of Josh Williams and Josh Bannister, because he won't be able to get close enough down the straights to be able to get underneath on the brakes. So if he wants to make any moves anywhere, it'll have to be from one corner to another, so possibly from turn 1 to turn 2, or even like that brilliant move we saw Ryan Hitchcock make into the S's. So he'd have to think of something special to be able to make a move for 4th or 5th, but doing a brilliant job to even be able to stay with these guys on the faster liquid cooled 40cc machines. Josh Bannister has made his way through Josh Williams, and so the Josh Bannister in 3rd place at the moment, the number 2, just taking the podium spot away from Joshua Williams. So Archie Gibbs here has a chance to get 3rd spot in this race on an air-cooled machine. Yeah,
this is a brilliant drive from the young man with the St George Cross inspired crash lid there, and you can see really close up to Josh Bannister and Josh Williams. So not giving up, and with 2 laps left to go in this one, still time to be made. And you can see he gets very close on the exit, especially of the first corner into the S's at turn 2 and turn 3, but as you say, just drops back with that lack of power down the straight. So he's got to really make sure he hits every single apex. But back up at the front, it's that man, it's the 43, Ryan Hitchcock, who's got a 2.3 second lead over Charlie Huntingford, and after getting past Charlie in that brilliant move into the S's, he's driven away and controlled this one.
Yeah, Ryan Hitchcock setting really fast, consistent pace at the front of this one. Ryan Hitchcock, you could say he's a returning star to this class. Has been up through the mini motos, through the Metra kit classes, and is returning here at Clay Pigeon and also at Lid to also he's taken the lap record in this race as well with a 41.5 earlier on in this race. So that beats the old lap record that Johnny Garnett set of a 41.7. So half a lap left to go then for the number 43 of Ryan Hitchcock as he comes round the hairpin for the final time into the horseshoe. Just one more corner to go for the number 43 after this one. Heads into the final corner for the final time. A whopping 2.6 second lead it was last time, and he's just been stretching that out all race long. So a brilliant ride there from the number 43 of Ryan Hitchcock, takes the win, and it's going to be Charlie Huntingford who takes 2nd place, 2.5 seconds back, with this battle for 3rd really hotting up now. But it's going to be Josh Williams that takes that 3rd spot ahead of Josh Bannister, who takes that 3rd spot ahead of the number 78 of Joshua Williams, and Archie Gibbs on that air-cooled machine rounding out your top 5. There's your race winner then, the number 43 visor open, enjoying the air now, just talking to the number 76 of Charlie Huntingford. Brilliant ride from Charlie Huntingford, and a brilliant start from him as well.
You can see, look at the sportsmanship between the pair of them, just sharing a fist bump there, and Ryan Hitchcock just extending his gratitude to Charlie Huntingford after the pair as he pops a wheelie going into the horseshoe. But yeah, what a win there for Ryan Hitchcock, who now owns the race lap record here at Clay Pigeon in both the LC40 Elite class, the GP50s and the GP70s. So yeah, very strong performance from the young man here at Clay Pigeon. And but it is Ryan Hitchcock that takes that win with a 2.5 second gap over Charlie Huntingford. Josh Bannister managing to hold on to third place, with Joshua Williams in fourth. Archie Gibbs doing all he could, but not quite able to hold on or move himself up into a podium. But fantastic result there from the number 3 bike. Archie O'Brien in 6th, Thorley Trevorrow in 7th, Marco Holt in 8th, with Luke Fitcher in 9th, and Casey Sperry rounding out the top 10 with Samuel Munson, just a 100th of a second behind in 11th place. And we've got a grid of Ryan Hitchcock on the pole in the 43, Samuel Munson in the 72 in second, the 76 of Charlie Huntingford in third, with the number 2 of Josh Bannister in fourth. 78, Josh Williams is in fifth, with the number 3, Archie Gibbs, in sixth position. 91 is Archie O'Brien in seventh, with 42, Thorley Trevorrow in eighth. Warwick Brady's the 99 in ninth. Luke Fitcher is the number 7. Marco Holt on the 58, with Casey Sperry in with the number 20 machine in 12th position. And Archie Gibbs, as you were talking about earlier, on a slightly different bike in this one.
Yeah, Archie Gibbs running his air-cooled machine in the liquid-cooled 40cc class. So a little bit down on power is the number 3 of Archie Gibbs, but still doing a brilliant job and putting out some brilliant lap times nonetheless. All these riders, then, apart from Archie Gibbs, on a liquid-cooled 40cc mini motos, is the elite class for the junior mini motos. So all these riders getting to grips with more power on these bikes. You see the number 43 there lining up a pole position with the googly eyes on the bike, and they are away for race 3 for the junior LC40 Elite, down into turn 1, and it looks like Charlie Huntingford it is that's taken the lead again from Ryan Hitchcock. So another brilliant start from Charlie Huntingford, like we saw earlier on. Number 2, Josh Bannister there, just coming through your picture, ahead of the number 72 of Samuel Munson. Josh Bannister's in third, ahead of Sam Munson in fourth, and Archie Gibbs there with the fluorescent flashes in 5th place at the moment.
Great start once again from Charlie Huntingford. He seems to really enjoy this third place start, because he just launches off the line straight down the inside of Ryan Hitchcock and Samuel Munson and up into the lead this one. But you can see we've got a breakaway there, but also Archie Gibbs, a good start from him as Charlie Huntingford comes down. So it is Ryan Hitchcock that's gone down at the final corner. So that's Ryan Hitchcock down out of second position. So the rider up on his feet. Frustration for Ryan, the 43. We expected him to do really well. A little bit winded, you can see, trying to get the bike restarted. Arm up in the air, maybe a bit of frustration perhaps, as we've got a red flag out on the circuit. Perhaps a little bit of contact between Ryan Hitchcock and Charlie Huntingford. You could see arm up in frustration from Ryan, but red flag. But it was a great start from Charlie. Yeah,
it looked as if that number 43 there, Ryan Hitchcock, was pointing at something on the circuit. So I'm not sure if there was something down there or something that he spotted there. He seemed to be a little bit confused as to what happened with that one, and pointing towards the circuit. So now we do have a red flag, and we'll be waiting to get this race restarted and back underway. But yeah, we saw a brilliant start from Charlie Huntingford, just like he did earlier on today. The number 76 just in the front of your picture there with the blue bike and leathers. He got a brilliant start, and we saw that he was able to do it earlier on. He was able to do it there, and probably expect him to do it again in this restart.
Yeah, he seems to really enjoy these restarts, and really enjoy the starts in general. He lightning in a bottle off the line is Charlie Huntingford, the 76. Josh Bannister in second position will be perhaps looking at picking up a good result. We'll see if Ryan Hitchcock is rejoining this one, but went down at the final corner on lap 1, which caused the red flag. Archie Gibbs had a good start and found himself up in third position. So Archie Gibbs on that air-cooled bike had a great start, found himself well up the order, and we saw in race 2 earlier today that he was fighting for the podium and almost got it. Only at the last, as you see, down to the front row does come the 43, arm up as he looks over at perhaps a little bit of contact there between the pair. Frustration from Ryan Hitchcock as he rolls up into the grid slot. And we'll find out if he's allowed to maintain his position. So Yeah, so he's unable to take the restart due to causing the red flag. So out of the race goes Ryan Hitchcock, and he will be absolutely gutted with that one. He knew that he had a good chance of another win, but that's going to allow that grid slot open as we go round for another warm-up lap here. But it's going to be Charlie Huntingford, Samuel Munson and Josh Bannister this time that will be taking the lead down into turn 1.
Yeah, absolutely. So that promotes Samuel Munson to pole position ahead of Charlie Huntingford and Josh Bannister. So you just see there, got another good start on that restart there. Did Charlie Huntingford. So he does like his starts as they go round this Clay Pigeon circuit. So we could be in for a big battle for the win in this race, with the number 43 of Ryan Hitchcock not finishing that one as they come on to line up on the grid once more to get this race restarted. There you see the number 3 in your picture there. That's Archie Gibbs on the air-cooled machine, quite high up the grid as well.
Yep. And doing very nicely in that first start. So we'll see if Archie can replicate that this time round with the restart as they look to the lights. Revs rise as we get underway, and once again he's done it. He's a lightning off the line. Charlie Huntingford straight up into the lead of this one. He's just, the reflexes that he's shown every single race so far this weekend, and he's already got himself a huge lead.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant off the line. It's just his reaction times are absolutely perfect. As soon as those lights go out, he's on the throttle, and he's clearing away from the field already. Like you say, Josh Bannister in second place. Then he got a good start as well to get up ahead of Samuel Munson, who you can see just in your picture there, just ahead of the number 3 of Archie Gibbs at the moment. Josh Bannister then in second. Can he do anything about Charlie Huntingford out front? Can he catch the number 76? Well, it's about a second gap over the line, so tall order for Josh Bannister, so we will have to wait and see what happens with that one. Number 72 in your picture now. That's Samuel Munson defending third place from Archie Gibbs. Archie trying to get underneath at the hairpin, but can't quite get side by side with the number 72, especially with that air-cooled engine.
Yeah, and the championship standings in this one were very close indeed overnight, with Ryan Hitchcock on 115 points, Samuel Munson on 108 and Charlie Huntingford on 106. So with Ryan Hitchcock not able to make the restart, this is going to open up the chance for maybe some of the other riders to take a lead going into round 4 at Wilton Mill in a few weeks' time. And it's Charlie Huntingford that is in pole position to do that with a 1.3 second lead over Josh Bannister. Sam Munson is holding off Archie Gibbs, and Archie Gibbs doing a stellar job so far on that slightly underpowered bike to hold on to Samuel Munson. In fact, he's really pressuring him coming into the horseshoe and looking well on for the chance of running for a podium.
Yeah, he's absolutely right on the rear wheel of Samuel Munson now and trying to find a way through. Joshua Williams also in 5th place on the number 78 machine. He's trying to get in on the mix and in on this battle for the podium. We saw him battling at the front in the AC40 rookies, as we saw Archie Gibbs battling at the front in the AC40 rookies. So 2 front runners in there trying to pick up a podium in the LC40 Elite. 4 laps to go then in this race, and it's still Samuel Munson holding on to that 3rd position at the moment, as Charlie Huntingford out front is extending his lead in this race. 1.7 seconds it was over the line, 42.3 on that last lap, so absolutely flying is the number 76 of Charlie Huntingford.
Yep, it's 0.6 of a second off the race lap record, which was set last season by the eventual champion Johnny Garness. And Charlie Huntingford is doing a great job so far. He moves up to 2.1 seconds ahead of Josh Bannister and Sam Munson, who is still holding off the charge from Archie Gibbs in that Flag of St George Cross inspired crash helmet there. Behind Josh Williams, equally not giving up on the chance for this podium with Samuel Munson. He's got a little bit of work to do if he's to hold on to this. You can see Archie all over the rear tyre of that black and red bike, and Sam Munson has got he's got a lot of work cut out for him. He's going to hold off Archie, and you'd think Archie is well up for this. He's had really good runs so far in the AC40s, and in the LC40s he's equally right up there. So it shows you the confidence and the talent that this young lad has around here at Clay Pigeon.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been really strong all weekend. We've seen him topping sessions in the AC40s and winning races and picking up some podiums. So now in this LC40 Elite class, he's going to be looking to pick up a podium in this one as well on the penultimate lap of this race. Now looking at the number 58 of Marco Holt, battling it out with the number 7 there, Luke Fitcher, and the number 42 of Thorley Trevor. That's the battle for 7th place. A little bit further back, just in front of them, is number 91 of Archie O'Brien. We've seen him do well in this class and in the AC40 Pros as well. Joshua Williams then still in 5th place behind Archie Gibbs and Samuel Munson. So this battle for second staying as it is for now as we go on to the final lap of this race into the hairpin for the final time for these guys. Will Archie Gibbs be able to make a move on the number 72 of Samuel Munson? He's getting right onto the rear wheel of Samuel Munson now. Only one corner left. Will he be able to make a move? He's going to have to do it in a corner, but it is the number 76 of Charlie Huntingford comes across the line and takes the win here for race 3 of the LC40 Elite. 25 points go in the way of Charlie Huntingford, second in the championship, so he's clawed some points back on the dominant Ryan Hitchcock in this final race this weekend. Brilliant stuff from Charlie Huntingford in this one, and Josh Bannister does take second place on the number 2 ahead of Samuel Munson, who just beat Archie Gibbs to the line, and Joshua Williams, the number 78, in 5th place. Brilliant win then for Charlie Huntingford. He looks delighted with that one.
Yeah, you could see him bouncing his head up and down in joy coming across the line. Very happy indeed. He knew that he needed to pick up a victory in this one to reel in Ryan Hitchcock in the championship, and he did just that ahead of Josh Bannister and Sam Munson, who managed to hold off the charge from Archie Gibbs and Joshua Williams. Hats off to Thorley Trevor as well. A double overtake on the penultimate lap moved him up from 9th to 7th and swept around the outside of Marco Holt into turn 3 and up into 7. So damage limitation for Thorley. He's a little bit further down this LC40s, but doing a stellar job there to get a great double overtake with just a few laps left remaining.
Let's go! The official BSB Partner Series. This is FAB-Racing.